All right, today we're headed to the Philippines to explore a building that's, well, it's two things at once. It's a sacred sanctuary, but it's also a military fortress. We're talking about the story of Miagao Church, a true fortress of faith.
So when you think of a church, you probably picture a quiet, peaceful sanctuary, right? Well, throw that image out the window. The Miagao Church, it was literally built for war. I mean, from the ground up, its whole purpose was to protect the community. Part spiritual haven, part hardcore military fortress.
But here's the thing. Its fame isn't just about being a fortress. It's also known as one of the country's true architectural gems because of its totally unique and imposing design. And really, it's that incredible mix of raw strength and delicate beauty that has captured people's imaginations all over the world.
So that's the big question we're going to dive into today, isn't it? How did this one building in Iloilo province land a spot on the UNESCO World Heritage list, one of the most prestigious lists on the planet? Well, the answer? It's literally carved right into its walls.
Okay, so to really get why this church is a fortress, we got to jump back in time to the 18th century. Picture this. The coastal town of Miagao was living under the constant threat of these terrifying raids. So when it was time to build a new church in 1787, you can bet survival was top of mind. They didn't just pick a random spot. They picked the highest point in town, turning this house of God into a strategic watchtower and a serious stronghold. And believe me, when I say stronghold, I am not kidding. The foundation of this church was sunk a staggering 6 meters deep into the ground. That's about 20 feet. And this wasn't just to make it earthquake-proof, though that helped. No, this was about creating an immovable anchor, a true fortress. And the walls? Just as insane. They measure 1.5 meters thick. That's almost 5 feet of solid stone. And they're reinforced with even thicker supports called buttresses. This place was built to do one thing: repel invaders and literally shrug off cannonballs.
But what's so amazing about this church is that its brute strength is matched by its incredible artistry. And you see that most clearly on its most famous feature, the facade. Seriously, this is not just some pretty decoration. It's a whole story carved in stone, a story about faith, culture, and who these people were.
This super unique style actually has a name. It's called Philippine Baroque. You see, local architects took the really dramatic, over-the-top style of European Baroque, but they cleverly adapted it for the Philippines, a place that gets a lot of earthquakes. Then, they mixed in all these different cultural influences and created something completely new. And you can see that fusion right here on the facade. It's like a canvas, where all these different cultures just come together. You've got medieval Spanish elements, some Chinese-style decorations, even Muslim-inspired geometric patterns, all mixed in with very local, very Filipino touches. It's all just coexisting in this one amazing piece of art.
And the centerpiece is the perfect example. So you have the classic story of St. Christopher carrying the Christ child, right? But look how they've completely localized it. Forget a European setting. Here, St. Christopher is wearing traditional Filipino clothes, and he's not just holding some staff. No, he's clinging to a massive coconut tree, which in the Philippines is known as the tree of life.
And that local flavor is just woven through the whole design. So right here, in the center, that's the patron saint, St. Thomas of Villanueva. He's got Pope Pius VI and St. Henry on either side. But check this out. Look what's surrounding these really important religious figures. You got these detailed carvings of local plants, like papaya and guava trees. It's this beautiful mix of the sacred and the everyday.
You know, the artistry of Miagao Church goes even deeper than the carvings. The very stuff it's built from has its own story. There's kind of this secret recipe that gives it both its strength and its one-of-a-kind look.
So, the secret is in the mortar, the stuff holding all those massive stones together. It wasn't just sand and water. The builders used this wild mix of local adobe, crushed coral, and get ready for this, egg whites. Yep, you heard me right, egg whites. Back in the colonial era, builders believed the protein was like this super powerful natural glue, making the whole thing incredibly strong.
And it's this unique blend of materials, the adobe, the coral, the limestone, that gives the church its famous warm yellow ochre color. That color isn't paint, you know. It comes from the very substance of the walls themselves, and it just glows in that tropical sun.
Okay, here's a cool little detail you might totally miss at first glance. See the two big bell towers on either side of the facade? They're not identical. Look closely. The west tower is older, and it has 4 levels. The east tower is younger and shorter, with only 3. So why the difference? Well, it's because they were actually commissioned by two different priests at two different times. It's kind of quirky, right? It leaves us with this charmingly lopsided design.
So we've established this church was built to last. And boy, has it ever. Its whole history is just this incredible testament to resilience. It survived not just wars and human conflict, but the awesome power of nature itself.
I mean, just look at this timeline of everything it's gone through. In 1898, it gets damaged during the Spanish Revolution. Then, in 1910, it survives a huge fire. Fast forward to World War II, it takes extensive damage. And then, in 1948, a massive earthquake hits, and it's still standing. I mean, time after time, it was battered, but it was never broken. And every single time, it was rebuilt.
So when you really get down to it, Miagao Church is so much more than just a beautiful old building. It's a living symbol, isn't it? It embodies the complex history, that incredible fusion of cultures, and above all, the unwavering resilience of the Filipino people.
And all of this leaves us with a pretty powerful thought to chew on. This church was built for prayer and for protection, for worship and for war. So I'll leave you with this question. When a building is designed to protect a community from attack, does that change the meaning of the faith that's practiced inside? It's a really fascinating question, right at that crossroads of history, architecture, and belief. Thanks so much for joining me on this.